I am starting now.
Alright guys, so I had surgery on Thursday, so I can't do jiu-jitsu today. But we're going to cover the knee shield sweep, so Zeke and Ryan will do a review of last week. We'll have you guys kind of help demonstrate since I can't actually demonstrate the moves. But let's go start off with the warm-ups. Let's do our Ashi warm-ups. Actually, Ryan and Zeke, you guys can demonstrate the Ashi warm-ups. So Ryan's on bottom. He's going to get his knees into his chest. Go ahead and go to the starting position. So he's going to start with his knees into his chest. He's going to have pressure going outward on the inner thigh. He always wants to have at least one leg connected to the inner thigh. So as he goes from side to side, he's always got the opposite leg connected to the inner thigh. The reason behind this is think of this knee as a knee shield. If this were actual jiu-jitsu in competition, you don't want to drop two legs back because he could just sit down in a mount, right? So always keep one leg back as like a defensive knee shield. So Ryan's going to kick one leg through and rotate to the side. He's going to shoot his hips up. Notice how his hips lifted off the mat. He's putting his heel on the hip and he's doing a hamstring curl with that leg to lift his hips off the mat. He's pinching his knees and the inside foot is squeezing on the inner thigh. He's going to go back down to the center. Very good. And then to the other side. Shoot those hips up off the mat and he's going to go back and forth. All right, good. Any questions about these Ashi warm-ups? Let's do it. Partner up. We'll do a minute each. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, all right. You want to start?
Yeah. Have you done this before? All right. Be a partner with her.
I can, yeah, that's fine.
Have you done these before?
I have.
Okay, great. And begin.
Some more coordination.
So remember to reset in the middle each time, keeping your knees in your chest, that defensive position so people can't just sit down in the mount. It also helps smoke your abs a little bit more. It's a good core workout. Oh, that's next.
Stay quiet.
10 seconds. Switch top to bottom. And go. Alright, so scoot all the way underneath your hips, and you want your knees in your chest. Bring your knees to your chest, and you want your knees flared out in your inner thighs. Alright, good. Now what you're going to do is you're going to kick your left leg forward. As you do that, you're going to rotate your body to the side. Now put your heel on her hip, right there, and use your leg to lift your hips up off the mat. Yeah, good. Then pinch your knees. Good. And your goal is to not knock her over. So try and do it smoothly so you're not pushing back on her. Now reset in the center. Yep, now reset in the center. Good. Now kick your right leg through. Do the same on the other side. Rotate to the right side. Kick your right leg through. Rotate to the right side. Just let her. Yep, put her. Good. Try not to knock her around. Try to let her stand still while you go back and forth, okay? And then, yep, good. Now lift your hips off the mat. Very good. Now go back and forth. Very good. Pinch your knees together. And this arm can reach around the foot. Good. And now reset the center. Good. Now kick your right leg through. Rotate to the right. Very good. Much better. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You guys get some extra reps over here. Yes. Oh, sidetrack.
That's good. I never trust Jeff's time.
We're on Jeff's time in here. Alright, Todd. Switch top to bottom. Let her set. Thank you, sir. May I have another? And go. Everybody's looking good. Your abs should be feeling it.
Oh, you're wrong.
I keep myself doing this somewhere.
Which makes you feel good. They're not there.
We're going to keep those knees in your chest, at least one back at all times, defending from someone just sitting down and mount. Time, switch top to bottom. And begin. Very good, much better. And just with more rush will come a little smoother transition, but it's looking good.
A little easier for that. If I was taller.
There's a
You got
difference in
long
leg
legs,
length
yeah.
there, yeah. And it does matter.
Got long legs.
We should put you over there with Kevin. 20 seconds. All right, time. Bring it in. Who feels comfortable demonstrating the daily hip drills? You go from reverse daily hip side to side.
Oh.
Alright, so these are a little more advanced. I know some of you are all familiar with these. If you're not, this is a little bit more advanced, but it's a lot of fun. I'm going to try and walk Zeke through it as he does it. So Zeke is going to line up and reverse daily hiva with his right leg inside and behind Ryan's right leg as well. So this is called the daily hiva hook. So he's got his leg going inside and he's hooking the thigh with his foot. If we were actually in reverse daily hiva, Zeke would have his foot on the hip right here. We're not too worried about that for this drill. He's really just going back and forth. So oftentimes I will have this foot out and then I'll move it in as I'm rotating. What Zeke's going to do though is he's going to reach underneath with his right arm. He's going to reach between Ryan's foot and his hip. So what I always tell people is foot on the inside, hand is on the outside of the leg the entire time. So as we transition back and forth, always think about foot on the inside, and then the hand is on the outside of your partner's leg. So Zeke is going to invert, so he's going to rotate around, and he can reach straight to the outside. See how his hand went all the way to the outside? This foot goes straight to the inside. And then he's going to keep on rotating. There we go. That's very good. He's going to go side to side. So hand on the outside, foot on the inside. Hand on the outside, foot on the inside. You just go side to side, back and forth. Anybody have any questions? All right, let's start over. Do it. 1, 2, 3. Good job, Zeke. Zeke, I'll expect to strike after this. I guess you've done these before.
No.
All right, these are fun. You'll do fine. Yeah, very good. And then you can reach your hand all the way around the outside. And then put your foot straight to the inside. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right. Good job. And begin.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like hooks.
Yep, exactly right. Good job. Back and forth. So right here, you're gonna line up. Scoot your hips over here on the outside of his foot, all the way to the outside. Here, scoot your hips all the way to the outside. This is a pretty. I don't think you guys have done this before. We normally give you a variation, but don't we? We're gonna try it today though. All right, foot right here. So I want you to step your foot right now. Good. Now you're gonna reach between his foot. Good. And now I want you to try to use your arm to push it out and use your legs to like rotate hips. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one, but you guys can do it. Only way to get better is to practice it, right? And you're gonna try to rotate up and around, and you want to try to reach around that far leg. Good, good. And if you can, your head between his legs and rotate underneath. Yeah, good. I'm gonna step over just to help out a little bit. Yep, there you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Good. Now put this foot straight to the inside. So you want to be further this way. time. Just top body.
I can see it.
Yeah, too. If you want to try, you can.
Get the arm thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You want to? That's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Can we go over this one? Yeah, so
Yeah, you're fine. And go. All right, so this right here, you're gonna reach between her foot and your hip. And I want you close. Yeah, right there. Now you're gonna use that arm to kind of push out away from your body, and you wanna rotate your head underneath your legs as your hips swing around. All right. So see if you can rotate around. Yep. So think. Yeah, there you go. Good. Keep on rotating. Keep on rotating. Keep on rotating. Now you're gonna grab the outside. This foot is gonna come on your inner thigh right there. If you can get that foot in there, long legs. This may be a little challenging with the size difference here. So you want to be. See how Zeke is? His head is still here.
Oh, don't put my head under.
Yep. Head's still on. Yeah. Don't put your head under. You want to stay on this side. Let me show you real quick. Here, I can do this. Episode of the time. So love you all. So what I'm gonna do, I got my daily Heva hook in. I'm gonna reach between her foot and my hip, and as I invert, so I'm using this arm like an uppercut to invert, and I'm putting this foot to her inner thigh, reaching to the outside, and continue to move around. So I'm using that arm to invert, reaching to the outside, foot goes to the inner thigh, continue to rotate around. Let's see you get a rep or two in.
I got it like that.
Yep. And use that arm to that's what rotates you around, is using that arm. You almost had it on that first try.
This arm
Yep,
rotation.
yeah, reach underneath, like, dig in.
Like that.
Nope, right there, digging deep. Go elbow deep. Go elbow deep, go deeper. Yeah, there you go, good.
Oh, like this?
Yep.
Okay.
Now rotate. A few more reps, guys. Rotate. Now stick this foot, inner thigh, and yeah, there you go. And grab her outside leg. Now keep on rotating around. Boom, that's it. Do one more. One more with your left hand between her foot and your hip. What's up, buddy? Yep, that's it. Put that foot in there. Keep the knee and the head back for this foot. See how this foot's right there? Do the same thing with this foot. Put it between your inner thigh.
This one.
This one.
That one on her inner thigh. Alright, good. That rep you did a moment ago, that was good though. That was correct. Alright, we're gonna do the knee shield sweep. I'm gonna try to carefully demonstrate this once, and I'll probably let Zeke and Ryan take over. So, call this a knee shield sweep. This is one of my absolute favorite sweeps, especially when I'm playing half guard. I don't play as much half guard anymore. I play a lot of butter half nowadays, but when I play half guard, this is one of my go-to sweeps. It's very effective. So we're in proper half guard with a good knee shield. For your knee shield, you want to think about it typically being roughly center mass in their body, if not off center just a little bit, because you don't want to be down too low. He can smash my knee down and start to pass my guard. So I want to center mass and go off center just a little bit, opening up. The first battle is I want to get an underhook with my bottom arm on his leg that's outside my half guard. So my first battle is getting underneath, and I like going elbow deep. When I say elbow deep, I want to get the inside of my elbow behind his thigh. So that's my target. I don't want it to be right here on my wrist or my forearm. I'm going to go elbow deep. And I'm immediately getting a gable grip. Once I get in this position, I'm going to pinch down tight on his thigh. This is a very solid grip. Once I get here, 99% of the time I'm going to hit this sweep, because this is the first battle. The hardest battle is just getting this underhook position. So we've got our underhook. Now when I'm ready to hit my sweep, I typically drop my knee down to the hip, and I like to push off of the hip, but I can still push off of it a little bit higher on the body depending on my opponent's reaction. The more you do this move, the more you feel what their body's doing, and you can make those adjustments. So my target is the hip, but if he is maybe pushing into me a little bit or he's turning away a little bit, I may actually open my knee up a little bit to redirect his body that direction. But my initial point of focus is pushing off of the hip. So I've got my underhook, elbow deep. I get my gable grip, pinch down on his thigh. Now I'm going to drop my knee to his hip. And as I push back with my knee, I'm going to pull with my arm. So I'm doing opposing motion. I'm doing like an uppercut as I'm pushing back. So what I'm wanting to do is extend his leg as I push him off balance backwards. So this is the first movement to get him off balance is I'm pushing with my knee, pulling with my forearm. I'm gonna keep this gable grip as I start to rotate up and around. So I'm gonna come with my elbow, keep coming up and going belly down. Do me a favor and just drop down to your hips. Good. I'm going to go belly down. I want to put my knee on the mat because ultimately I want my knee to poke through. So this is an important part to think about while you're doing this rotation is getting this knee to poke through. A lot of times people forget about this and they leave their leg back here. All right. So I pulled, I've got him off balance, I've got his leg extended. I'm coming up to my elbow, belly down, my knees poking through, and I'm going to continue rotating. Now this is honey hole. So a lot of times when people talk about honey hole, they've got this body foot through as well. They've got different configurations with their feet. I actually like to leave my foot trailing behind on the hip. So we're gonna see where my foot is. My foot is still trailing the body. I left it on his hip and I'm pinching in tight. So this is honey hole position right here. It's a modified honey hole. So to hit this knee bar, I want the foot between the mat and the head. And I want to pinch the foot with my head and shoulder. From here, I'm going to grab the heel, grab my own shoulder, and I'm going to rotate back. So I think I'm putting my back shoulder on the mat, look at the sky, and bridging up into his knee. So we're doing a knee bar from honey hole, and we're getting there using a knee shield sweep. All right, what's up?
What's the significance of honey hole and what does that differ from honey stick? I heard of a move called honey stick. Is that the same? Is it like a different variation or something? I was just curious.
Yeah, so good question. So honey hole, it's also called 411. There's a few different names for it. Honey hole is a very strong leg locking position, a very strong attacking position. So again, typically when people talk about honey hole, they've got both feet through and there's different configurations you can do with your legs. It's just a great way to expose the heel and attack. Today we're doing a knee bar from honey hole because I think everybody except one everyone in here is a blue belt and below except one. So we're gonna focus on a knee bar from here, but most of the time you're gonna go here to attack the heel hooks. So what I would typically go for is an inside heel hook. So a honey stick is a counter to the honey hole. Honey stick is when he's gonna bring his foot back and try to stick it between here, and this time he's gonna reverse the position and start to attack my foot. So honey stick's a counter, but then there's a counter to the honey stick. So as he starts to honey stick me, I can reach through and still hit it. So there's a honey hole, there's a honey stick, and a counter to the honey stick. We're jumping ahead a little bit too much though. So we'll stick with the honey hole today. All right, so let's do this. What's that?
I'm sorry, it's just my brother
Oh,
from 10 Planet, so it's like the more you explained it, I was like, man, those leg lock assassin motherfuckers, man.
So yeah, the honey stick is a well-known, it's a good counter to the honey hole. But I've got a beautiful counter to the honey stick, so I love when people try to hit that on me. It's a lot of fun to counter. All right, so one more time. Here we are, half guard, knee shield position. I'm gonna go elbow deep on this underhook, gable grip, pinch the thigh, drop my knee to his hip, push with my knee as I pull with my arms as I do an uppercut, come up to my elbow, start to rotate up, belly down, knee down, I'm pinching my knees, tucking my head on the inside of his foot and continue to rotate completely into honey hole. I've got this modified honey hole position with my foot trailing on the hip. I'm gonna grab the heel, grab my shoulder. I'm gonna rotate my shoulder to the mat and then bridge up into the sky. One last time, it's time to rep it. Elbow deep on my underhook, get a gable grip, pinch down on the thigh, drop my knee to the hip, push on his hip as I pull with my arm, keep my grip as I go, as I get up on my elbow, start to rotate up, go belly down, pinch my knees together, knees on the mat, tuck my head on the top side, or I guess inside of his foot, grab the heel, grab my shoulder, rotate my shoulder to the mat, and then bridge up into the sky. If for some reason you find yourself with the foot on the wrong side of your head, it's really simple. You grab the foot, you stuff it, you pinch it, get the heel, rotate, and finish. You want the foot between your head and the mat. You can still finish it like this, but it is not nearly as strong and it's much more likely they're going to escape. So you really should focus on putting it between your head and the mat. Any questions? All right, 1, 2, 3. Do one and switch. So just go back and forth. TJ, jump in with Zeke. right here.
Push me.
So go back real quick.
Yep.
Get a gable grip. You're gonna, yeah, there you go. Keep that tight hold. So you're in a gable grip. Do a thumbless grip. Yep, very good. Yep, very good. Now the only thing I want to see done differently, you see how this foot is through? That's
Yes.
not wrong, that's definitely okay. But I have a modified Honeywell preference. So leave that foot back here on the hip and then squeeze your butt in towards his a little bit. Beautiful, that's it. Pinch his foot between your head and shoulder. Yep, good. Now cup this heel with your right hand. Grab your own shoulder with your left. Then think about rotating to your back shoulder and bridging up into the sky. Go. I say that word. Good switch. So you want to feel the further in the honey hole. So because you kind of lost the knee position here, is it how you feel it? So you want to stay kind of on the face.
I think it was the heel there. Because initially, like before you really lodge out there, you were bridging, now just and then you pulled the heel and then you were bridging.
Start in half guard position.
Yeah.
This is underneath.
Yep.
I think, and then this one's in the chin.
Yep, so just get your normal half guard. So you were going to loop your right leg underneath your thigh above her calf. Good, scoot it a little bit deeper. Good, and get on your right hip, lay on your right side. Yep, very good. Now get a gable grip, which is perfect. There you go. And now I want you to bring that knee shield into her chest. Now, drop this knee to her hip. I want you to push off of her hip with your knee and then pull with your arms. Good. Now come up your elbow, start going belly down. Put your left knee on the mat. So bring your hips up and over and go belly down. Very good. Now leave this foot right here on her hip as you continue to rotate. Continue to rotate. Careful not to blow her knee out. All right. So everything is pretty good, but see how far away you are from her body? You want to be up here closer to her.
I think I was just taking a scoop out like too far away.
This foot on her hip.
I think I was just pinching my knee or what I think.
Let's do this. I want you to go jump in with Kevin over there just because there's such a difference in leg length. Hey TJ. Actually Zeke, why don't you jump in over here with Jess? Okay. And then boom, Cody. Right. Cody's gonna jump in with you guys. He got some long legs, so fit him better. Cody's a little bit newer to leg locks, so you guys can walk in the middle of the area. How are you guys doing over here? Okay-ish. Let's see it. Yes. That's good.
I felt gently tighter all around.
So far, do you feel it? You feel it? Pause real quick. Yeah. Foot here if you can.
That finish. Rotate to your shoulder first.
Okay, yeah. That looks good. Rotate your back and bridge into his knee. That's pretty good. Good job.
So he feels better.
Yeah, I feel way more.
Looks pretty good. What I would do is I would actually point this knee up good. Yeah, because what that also does is that prevents him from sitting forward to try to back in. So you show the knee shield there, and I would rotate your back shoulder. I know.
Getting up to go belly down.
We call it a U-bar. Technically it's a heel hook, but I don't call it a U-bar. It's a white belt. It's a white belt for the heel hook.
You know, like smooth compared to like ratchet.
Go to your elbow. Yep. Knee up and over. Knee go belly down. Keep fixing the well. That's right there the whole time. Go belly down. Continue to rotate. Yeah, that looks good. Go belly down. Right hand on his heel. Okay, pause real quick. I want to see your knee points up and your foot hang on the mat. Yep, just like that. Good. Now, pinch his foot behind between your head and shoulder. Grab his heel with your right hand.
I think you got to place it back on your shoulder. Like you're on the outside of my leg, like you're in a really good position. I think I need to start right there. Trust that staying close to the leg too tight.
Yeah, you don't have it now. Grab the heel. And I'll see you point here on the mat. So this thing's about putting it underneath his thigh. So rotate underneath his thigh. That's good. And yeah, very good. You have the foot right there, knee up. Now I want to see you grab his heel with your right hand. Pinch his foot between your head and your shoulder. Yep, good. And now I want you to rotate to your back right shoulder and reach up to the sky. Looks pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Just keep on rotating and put your hips into his knee. Nice, that was good. All right, let's see it. And that's not necessary. Just get that grip. Straight gable grip. Push pull. Nice. Up your elbow.
I think you kind of close out that too, like when
You're just bring your elbow underneath it and feel your grip. Yep, exactly. Yep. Now bring this knee down and underneath his thigh. Nice, there you go. Grab his heel, and that's it. Now rotate your back right shoulder, bridge towards the sky. Good job. That rotation. Now, Zeke, one way to upgrade this a little bit is plant your foot on the mat right there, and then put your knee straight up, because this also works as a defensive knee shield. If she tries to lean forward to like grip fight, that knee will block it. Yep. Yep, looks pretty good. Then bridge into her knee and blast those ligaments.
So I'm having a question when it comes to getting over.
So let's go back first. Keep your cable grip the entire time. Yep. And let's pause real quick. Adam, do him a favor. Don't turn away so much. Oh, just square him just a little bit. If people do turn away, we would actually make an adjustment on him. We're just not doing that today. No, keep that cable grip. Rotate on your shoulder. Yep, there you go. Now put your knee on the mat. Yep, put your knee under his thigh and rotate. Good. Now, everything looks like that. See, there's a lot of space between everybody's hips. Think about eliminating that space and keeping it tight. And the way you can do that is plant this foot on the mat and put that knee straight up. Point this knee straight up. Good. Now grab his heel with your right hand. Grab your shoulder with your left. Good. Now rotate your back right shoulder and bridge towards the sky. Nice.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question? Yeah. That I never let you ask?
Absolutely.
That looks good, TJ. I went to the last little bit. That was pretty good. Make sure you grab the heel. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'm trying to think about it.
Hey, let's pause real quick on this grip. So when you're going underneath, I want you to thumb this grip. Yeah. Thumb. Yeah, you had it right there. Yeah, that's fine. There you go. Good. Knee on his hip. Nice. That's what I was thinking. You're keeping that grip the whole time. Yeah, and when that knee on the top, the knee on the mat, not your foot, just your knee. Higher percentage. Good. Keep rotating. Pretty good. Yeah, now grab his heel with your right hand, and then rotate your back right shoulder. Bridge towards the sky. Now a little bit of an upgrade. Watch this knee flare out. Good. There you go. That's it. Looks pretty good. Josh, looks pretty good. Just way to upgrade. Put this knee, flare it out, and then take this hand over your shoulder. Good. And then bridge towards the sky with your nose. Yeah. And then keep on rotating. Keep on. Yep. Good. Keep on going to that back shoulder and keep on rotating.
That transition was super tight.
Now, if you find yourself, see how he's kind of turned away, as I was talking about earlier with turning away. If you find yourself at least turning away, you're probably just going to start attacking the back of the hook. So you would probably just start stepping in your foot. For today, kind of square up just a little bit so you can get a knee bar. Good. And now you can pinch that between you and pinch. You're going to put your inside of the, yeah, there you go. Good. Grab his heel. Really inside his foot. Yeah, good. And then you can grab his heel, rotate to your back right shoulder, and bring it in. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah. Shoot your hip. Looks pretty good.
And it's freezing.
Good.
Either way, I'm on the inside.
Take your back right and bridge in.
I'm not doing
Good.
that.
Good job.
I feel like I'm.
So just to help out with this drill, try not to turn and run away. Try to square with him a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you turn and run away, he's actually gonna do something different. But we're not covering that part
That
today.
makes sense too. I'm like this. Yeah, this way. Well, then the legs go.
You did say your name was Jess, right?
Yes.
Getting over the legs.
Thought so. I just want to make sure. I've been calling you that all class. I've been known to do that before.
You're completely wrong.
I called Dakota Evan for months, or for years actually. years. I called him that for years. Like one of my closest friends, I called him Evan for years.
And then once he got promoted, he was like, oh, I remember your name.
At my office in Illinois, I got called Chris by a guy for like 2 years.
Crisp.
And
Look pretty
people
good.
were just like, well, give her credit. He told me Chris, I answered. He's a nice dude.
So pause. Really. I'd like to see you. Yeah, I'd like to see you have his knee turn more inches. So before you rotate as much as you have, there you go. Sorry, mixed up. You gotta step right again. And I'll show you where we can pinch that foot.
Yeah. Foot I can push off or grab or whatever.
Now right there, before you keep going, go ahead and get that foot on the other side of your head. Yep, good. Now you can continue rotation. See how his knee is now straight into your hip? Good. Now rotate to your back shoulder as you fly your right knee up. Yeah, good. Rotate your back right shoulder. Now bridge into his knee. Bam, good. Finish your last rep.
Catching the hill.
While you're
Earlier, I've been there.
What you did was you basically fully rotated in the honey hole.
And then try to.
By that time you just heel hook him.
Okay.
That's actually what I'm about to cover, because that's what I don't have it on. Finish your last round and bring it in.
You shoot it down. There's no knee bar. You should tell the guy that they're coming hill.
Let's get over there, John Casey. All right. Read on. Come here, Ryan. So just a couple things to point out. Again, the first battle is getting this underhook. When I get this underhook, I know I'm getting something. I know this is the first battle. The hardest part of this is just getting this underhook and this grip. I know once I get this grip, I'm going to hold on for dear life until the opening arises to take my next step. But this is, once I get here, it's a pretty good chance I'm going to hit something. Whenever we start to push-pull, sometimes your partner will actually turn and run away, go and turn your hips away, in which case I'm going to switch to something else. Okay, so if I find myself in this position, I'm going to switch to something else that we're not going to cover today. Most of the time, people do not respond this way, but people will respond this way, so just be prepared. It can happen, but most of the time, people will not respond this way. Most of the time, people will square back up to you and try to fight they'll try to fight this knee shield because they don't want to fall backwards. So they'll try and pressure back in, but this is a battle that I'll win every single time. This is just a much stronger position, pushing and pulling than they are trying to fight back in. Whenever I start to rotate up, I want to get my head on the inside of the foot here. I don't want to plant my head on the outside of the foot. I want to plant my head on the inside of the foot already. Because if I plant my head on the outside of the foot, I then got to play catch up later and shove the foot from one side of my head to the other, and I don't want to have to do that. So setting the position up early and getting the head on the inside of the foot is very helpful. Then when it comes time to rotating, I want to make sure I'm flaring my knee up to the sky. I'm planting my foot on the mat and I'm flaring my knee up to the sky. When I do this modified honey hole position, it's important that I've got this knee up and I've got this foot on the mat. It helps control their hips. It also is a defensive position, so if he wants to hand fight, he wants to sit forward and hand fight, I've got a knee shield there blocking him just like you would in half guard or something. Whereas if I've got my leg pinched in, he can come forward and he can start to hand fight. So to hold this modified honey hole position, I want to make sure I've got my knee shield up. This is basically a legal heel hook for white belts. It is essentially the same mechanics as a heel hook.
Our heel hooks are not legal.
They are not legal for white belts and blue belts in almost all competitions. In some competitions, even purple belts can't do them, and they're never legal in the gi. So yeah. But this, what we're doing today, so this is a heel hook, same leg configuration, same finishing mechanics, almost the same finishing mechanics in the body. This is what we're doing, and we're calling it a knee bar. Technically, it is a knee bar, but it's the same mechanics as a heel hook. because we've got the heel, we're rotating back, and we're bridging into the knee. It's just more directly on top of the knee than it is in the side, which is where you would bridge into for the heel hook. But essentially, it is a legal heel hook for whites and blues because it's knee bar. All right. So once we're here, we want to have our head on the inside of the foot. If you find yourself where you're kind of on the top of the foot trying to finish this knee bar, I'm just going to transition to a heel hook at that point. So you want your head on the inside of the foot, pinching the foot, grabbing the heel, rotating to the back, and then bridging up towards the sky. Any questions about this knee bar sweep into a knee shield?
Do you have any tips on how you can maneuver that knee into honey hole from? I'm speaking on your left knee.
Mm-hmm.
Try to slide that in there because I notice when I try to do it, I'll rotate right and get head to the ground. I'll grab the foot, but I feel like as I try to rotate, I feel like I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but it's hard for my knee to get in there into honey hole.
Yep. So a lot of people do have trouble with that on the side. So everyone come on over here on Nathan's side. So I'm getting elbow deep, getting my gable grip, pinching my elbows, pushing, pulling, coming up, and again, I've still got my grip as I come up with my elbow. So what I'm doing is I'm already pinching my knees here, and I'm holding this leg up so there's space for my leg to go through. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm keeping his leg off the mat, giving myself space, but I'm shoving this knee through before I even fall on my hip. So now I'm on my hip, right? But I've rotated to the side now. I'm shoving my knee through as I fall to my hip. Does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I get my grip, rotate, hip in.
So I just need to keep his leg off the mat when I rotate.
So whenever I go from this position to belly down, that's when I'm getting disarmed underneath his leg, and I'm holding that so his leg doesn't get flat to the mat, and that's when I slide my knee in as well.
Yes.
Yeah, good question. A lot of people are struggling with that, so it's a good question. Any other questions? All right, y'all, we didn't cover it today for time, but last week, and I'll send the video out to the group after this. Last week we talked about a couple different options. Come here, Ryan. I don't know if I can do this today with my surgery, but I'll try. Another option from this grip is you can actually hip out a little bit, create some space, bring this leg across, and do the exact same thing with using the back of the thighs like a weapon on their hip. So same concept, just bring that thigh and then bring that leg through. And the other option is I'm going to kick you in the head, watch out, is I'm going to windmill this leg around and do that same thing also. So there's different ways of getting to the same position. And if you don't want to finish with a knee bar, if you want to finish with a heel hook, you can rotate another inch and you're in a nice honey hole position as you start coming up. So you don't have to stop with a knee bar if you would prefer doing those heel hooks. All right, y'all. We'll do that next Wednesday. We'll build off of what we did today, and we'll add in those other two options. We'll add some more to it next Wednesday as well. So come on back to continue building on this. Time to roll. Legs only. Start in whatever position you want. If you want to start down in half guard so you can practice this, you can, or start whatever position you want. Leg locks only. For my people that are newer to leg locks, tap quick and let go quick if you catch a leg lock. If your partner's not tapping, don't keep cranking. Don't try to prove who's better. Just let go quick and make sure you tap quick. All right, y'all? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
I have to leave early today, so.
Have a good day.
You out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. Are you on the Discord, Jess? Are you on the Discord? Do you have the Discord app? So we have a Derby City Discord app where and there's a lot of different chats. It's like a general chat. We also have one specific to the 6 a.m. class. I can send it to you if you're interested. It's just how we communicate what's going on each week. If you want me to send it to you.
Yeah.
Did you get surgery? Yeah, fixed.
I still feel like big surgery.
It's actually gone really well. I just had that Friday, Thursday.
Hands off, we're going today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, most of the time it's 7:40. I don't know, since I've been training here, you're really fine. It still bothers me.
I've been in it.
All right, what's your number?
279
Steven, I did it, but.
Yeah.
Alright. So just be aware.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All right, so I will send this to you.
Yeah, during the summer when I have the kids.
This is your time to train?
I have to do 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's why I started these two. I've got 2 kids also. And
Yeah.
I get up early so I don't miss school or miss the family time. What's your last name?
It's ULRICH.
Maybe on that leg, you know, I was like, I don't know. Man, I'll tell you what, did you see how I pulled that other one over? Like, you were watching.
All right, so I just sent you an invitation. You have to download the app, but the entire gym uses this to chat. We also have, anytime there are UFC fights or like some jiu-jitsu competitions, sometimes we'll pay for the streams on here so you can watch them all for free on the app. But once you get in, it's a bunch of symbols. That's the Derby City symbol. And you've got all these different things that you can go to.
Okay.
This is the 6 a.m. chat, and this is where we'll share videos, we'll talk about whether it's Geek or No Geek and other things. You can subscribe to the 6 a.m. channel. Go to the very top, click rolls, scrolling. And then if you touch the coffee mug, so you touch the coffee mug, it'll sign up for 6 a.m. If you touch the key, it'll sign up for Jiu-Jitsu. That way you can just kind of see what's going on.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeff, is that straight ankle? This worth this time. This how I'm that's a good straight ankle from the outside.
Yeah, so you guys are at 50-50.
I know that there's a heel here.
So if I was to straight ankle from there, what I would probably do is a cross body shoulder hitch. So I would focus on grabbing his leg and bring it across his body. And then what I would do is I would pinch with my right arm. I would reach up here with my left. Keep your arms back. Keep that grab up heel. And then you will bring your arm back. Shut your bicep. Good. And now you're just now you're gonna bridge into him. And actually face, rotate your body towards me. Rotate towards me as you bridge in. Okay. Yeah, in that position. So that's called a straight bridge. Yeah, so what you do is, I'll reach back and put the heel back, just bring my back, just go proper position on top of your leg. And then I want to spread.
Yeah.
So you are facing away, which you actually need to face it. Yes. Anytime I finish it straight, I can like basically pull or some sort of like a single.
I can catch all this.
Yeah, he's got like a close.
Position, just from on top.
So, where the butterflies are. Yeah, it's. I can see the picture. I can see like the leg. It's a certain amount of
You're so extreme too.
I was just surprised.
You just kind of let yourself fall right into it. That's nice.
There's the honey stick.
You don't know it.
When you hit reps from running, I just thought that's good.
Zeke, what my name is, man?
Switch partners. Yeah, man.
Hey, start.
I did my third stuff. I'm still recovering, but mine's gone pretty well. My boy.
It's like I'm sitting this one out, coach.
All right.
Starting my half guard position every year.
Well, coach, I just want to come clean with you.
Is that Eugene?
No, I've been spoon fed.
Yeah.
This whole time, my brother's been like giving me corners from like 200 or
Good. That's good.
and all them.
Yeah, where you can, man.
Oh God. So what is our one?
He's the guy getting in front of people.
I'll be honest, I'm not a person.
I noticed that in the gym period.
Chewy got hit. Yeah, we don't really do that here. Chewy got his from.
Smooth.
They're two brothers.
Like both hamstring.
Colin and Kyle.
I guess my question is, how come we don't care about them?
Yeah, you don't
We care about everybody, you know? I don't care about them. Just so you know.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I mean, to some degree.
Oh, sorry.
To some degree.
With my inside leg? Yeah. I was trying to keep it vertical with the post.
Oh, that works.
All right.
Older school. Mentality. Sure, I guess that was competition gym, fight gym, and then just shit.
Good job, Jeff. You showed me the right block, but I just used it to use it.
Nice, good job. Did the ref see it?
Nope.
Then you're good.
I hope that's not on video.
Well, we're under Sean Hammond's just our association, which Sean is a huge association of legends and greater than. He's out of National Tennessee, just as a national. Yeah. But honestly, in everything I've been a part of, like, it's never been a thing in anything I've been a part of. But it's still very common to watch. Typically more on the he side and more like the greasy type stuff.
There's a great situation.
Yeah, there's a couple greasy ones. Or a couple greasy here in Louisville.
I want to ask it around. It's kind of mine.
Yeah, I consider what I do to be American Jiu-Jitsu. American Jiu-Jitsu is more no-gi, it's more leg locks. Officially it's all quote-unquote Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Is the sport in general more traditional, or has it been more no-gi?
No-gi is growing. I mean, I would say in general, gi is still king, just because more schools are traditional, more schools are but more of the modern, primitive schools are.
This one here. It says even less rock. It's Jack.
I would say everything, right? There's
Well, of
still,
course. Of course.
but no, you are.
No, I didn't have any free hands to tap. I was about to.
My knee is facing this way, so it has man, your legs are so strong. I couldn't
I just want to get so.
Electric chair. I don't know what you call it. Electric chair hip position.
Man, I'm not that good. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
I told you to know, like.
Do the extension on the knee and then on the hip.
So it's organized.
Really good. Keep trying to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, brother? Oh, okay. You appreciate that. How's everything?
Oh, actually, that's what's there for me.
Oh, really?
Good morning, sir.
You right over next to the cargo facility? Man, I used to work over in the cargo facility for about 10 years.
Still getting used to the whole planes just landing where they be.
Man, it's the most beautiful place in Louisville. Sunrises and sunsets out there.
I know the Highlands is nice when I was doing Amazon, man. I still haven't explored that city yet.
That's right, you're not from here, are you? There's those Snickers everywhere. Push it over there, now see anything there.
Yeah, you gotta fight that calf slicer. That's a very strong position. So if you ever find yourself even like getting somewhat close to it, you gotta fight that calf slicer. Because if you try to counter it, you're gonna lose every time. Did you get that from Dakota?
Yeah.
That's a nasty counter.
Every
Yeah.
time I try to, like, to push my hand, I'm like, oh, I'll try it.
Yeah. Yeah, you've gotta fight that quick. That's such a strong position.
Calf slicer?
Yeah, the one from the
Calf slicer?
Yeah. Yeah, Dakota calf slicer.
You had that straight ankle look a few times.
I'm trying, brother.
I was expecting the defenses for me, something's coming. I was like, let him work it, man. I got 3 seconds to get out of this.
Don't forget to go rotate up and to the outside. I'll have your head that will rotate to the outside. Yep. There you go, good. Keep on rotating. Keep on going all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Keep on going. Good, there you go. Now bring your knee to the sky, put on the mat.
Oh, I need vertical.
Yeah. Yep, there you go. Knee to the sky. Good. Now you can swing for it again. So Josh, just so you know, toe holds where you rotate to the outside are illegal in many competitions. Because you're doing a toe hold that you're rotating to the outside. Many competitions, those specifically to the outside are illegal. Honestly, I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know if it's like more. It's a Brazilian thing.
I got nowhere left.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even look at it. Yeah, like a lot of competitions that allow toe holds, they don't allow toe holds to the outside.
Big lock. Big lock.
So bring your left knee all the way through the mat behind your side. Yep, all the way through the mat behind your side. Keep that foot work less. Now you can finish this one. Get a belly down, you both have belly down straights. Thanks. Good job for the swing one. Time.
Thanks.
Alright guys, line it up.
Nice on every time.
How you doing?
Yeah, super circle. Thank you. What kind of surgery do you guys do?
Vasectomy.
Best one. Making a change, huh?
I did. It's our first step.
How you doing?
The transition.
Looks like I'll go to the other side.
Go. Alright guys, good class again. Good class. Any questions about the knee shield sweep into the knee bar from honey bowl?
Kind of going back to getting that cable grip. There's a few times I'd go for it.
Yep.
And I just get flattened out at that point.
When you try to get the underhook,
Yeah.
keep your knee shield up a little bit higher. I don't drop my knee shield down to the hip until I'm ready to go, but keep that knee shield up higher, keep that underhook, because you can have that underhook with this knee shield up in position, but if you are dropping this down sooner, they're gonna smash you out. Yep.
If you're wanting to pass from half guard, but you see that they're definitely focused on trying to get under your leg, is it just stopping that first underhook basically, or is it just stopping that grip? Think of that as a grip that you're fighting, or is there a way, like that's still the position that you want to be in, top tab,
When you're on top, yeah.
but like not just allow them to get, just fight that grip.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, it's hard to get the underhook grip when someone's sitting down their butt. So if you sit back and further away and there's no space, you can kind of fight that a little bit, but you're still giving them access to your leg, and you're like, so right there. So that's not the go-to.
Yeah.
What I like to do is I'll actually stuff my hand under their armpit right there. So I'll stuff the armpit, which would make it more difficult for them to curl under. So I'll stuff the armpit and also swing my leg back.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'll do often. Stuff, move back. I wouldn't cross face, just because if you cross face, you're typically cross facing with the bicep, right? They're gonna reach your leg.
Yeah.
So I would try to stop with the armpit and just win it like that.
Okay. Alright.
Good question. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I hate guys that just get stuck on there. They just sit back and it's like,
Once you get that grip,
yeah, once I'm under there,
yep.
and I just can't get my hips under.
So I don't focus on trying to get my hips under, because what you're talking about is almost like going to ashi, which you can. I'm actually doing a different motion. And a lot of times people get that grip and we'll start trying to rotate to their back.
Yeah.
For this, that's not what we're doing. For this, we're not rotating to our back. For this, we're
The knee in.
Yep, we're pushing with our knee as we're uppercutting and then coming up and over. So it's just a different motion. Not saying that what you're doing is wrong. It's just going into a different position.
Move, yeah.
And you're right. People will react differently. It's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah, I try with the ham sandwich and the electric chair, and sometimes I'm just fucking stuck.
Yeah, we can work on the hand sandwich.
Yeah.
That's my baby. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming in today. Tomorrow will be an open mat. Just come on back tomorrow, get a bunch of rolls in. Have a good one.
No, don't hug me today.
Yeah, good to see you come in, man.
See you, Ryan. Good seeing you, buddy. Good seeing you. All right, Justin, have a good one.
Yeah, another thing I was talking to Ryan about is like I keep on ending up in 50-50. Yeah, I'm just like scared, like